Hello, everyone. I'm Tony Wakefield, an associate pastor with Grace Center in Franklin, Tennessee, and this is the Thought of the Day. Today, I want to tell you a story from Judges chapter 4 and 5. The story begins with a king of Canaan named Jabin, and he was oppressing the people of Israel, and he was using his commander of the army. His name was Sisera, and he had 900 chariots fitted with iron. And it says that he oppressed the Israelites cruelly for 20 years. Well, you can imagine the outcry after 20 years. Frankly, we're crying out right now after what feels like being oppressed for 3 months. And so I can relate to the heart of the Israelites crying out for help, much as we are today. And the Lord heard that cry. And so who did he raise up? But he raised up Deborah, who was a judge over Israel. And she contacted Barak, who was one of the leaders in Israel, and said, if you will gather up 10,000 men and go to a particular mountain, then Sisera and his army and Jabin will be defeated, and Israelite will be out from underneath this oppression that we've had for 20 years. Well, they did just that, went out against Sisera's army, and they routed the Canaanite army, even with 900 chariots fitted with iron. Now, let me say, we can go back and we can read that and praise the Lord and bless the Lord and say, the Lord did something amazing. The Lord didn't do something amazing. He did something impossible. There was no way they were going to win this fight. And I can tell you, friend, right now, we can tend towards despair in these days and say, how are we going to win this fight? When are things going to be over? And I just want to say that on the front end, things can look very, very bleak. And yet in this particular case, and this is important for us to go back and look at what the Lord has done. The Lord delivered the Canaanite army, even with 900 chariots fitted with iron, into the hand of Barak and Deborah. Now, Sisera, he escaped on foot and went running to what he thought was going to be a safe place, to the tent of a woman named Yael. And he said, if you will keep me here, then maybe I can escape the Israelites. She said, sure thing. But she knew what the Lord's will was, and she ended up killing him in the tent. Actually drove a tent peg through his temple. Now, let me tell you something. You don't want to be one of God's enemies. Let me just say that. And so God is not lax right now in this day and age where we feel like there are all kinds of voices and things going on in the world. Let me just say, it is good to be a child of the King right now. This is a great time to be a child of the King. But the thing about this story that really caught me was after the army had been defeated and Sisera had died, we find in chapter 5 this song of Deborah, and it says, on that day, Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam, sang this song. When the princes in Israel take the lead, when the people willingly offer themselves, praise the Lord. Hear this, you kings. Listen, you rulers. Listen up, world. I will sing to the Lord. I will sing. I will make music to the Lord, the God of Israel. Now, I just want to say, what are we supposed to be doing in this day and age? Well, I have a suggestion for us all. It's to sing the praises of the Lord and to remember that He is God and that He has defeated His enemies throughout time, always and forever, and always will. And I was reminded in Isaiah 61, where it says this about the Lord's coming. He will give us a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. And I just say to you, friend, if you're despairing today, one thing you can do, as hard as it may seem, but as freeing as it will be, is to praise the Lord, to remember his goodness, and to remember that he has fought his battles and he has won every time. He goes on to say, they will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Friend, you can't help but be an oak of righteousness for the display of his splendor because you are his. Be encouraged today. The Lord is faithful and he is good. Bless you, friend.